first round college football playoff predictions. We've got Clemson at Texas. Texas is favored by an astronomical 11.5 points, which I think Vegas is a little crazy on. A double-digit underdog has never won in the CFP. They are a whopping 0-8. What's your prediction? What are you foreseeing in Clemson at Texas, which will be a playoff game in Austin?
At the minimum, I would give Texas a 6.5 point advantage in Vegas odds.
Right.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, 7.
Right. They are, you get 3 points for being at home.
Right, exactly. I think the Longhorns win in this one, but not as by a big of a margin as, say, Vegas would think.
Right.
Because Clemson really did come to play against SMU.
Yeah, they
SMU
did.
was caught with their pants down. I
Yeah, they were.
arguably think, I think they were the better team than Clemson, but I think Clemson came to play and prepared a little bit better
Yeah.
than SMU did. I think
Right.
SMU walked in and was like, I think we're going to win this. We don't have to try as hard. And in the third quarter, they're like, oh snap. We got to get prepared here. We got to catch up. And it was too little too late.
Yep.
And because Clemson's not that team you want to sleep on.
Nope.
If you come in there ill prepared for them, that air raid offense is going to wreak havoc on you. It is. It just is. Because Dabo Swinney is that head coach. He's got 2 national titles under his belt. He's been in the playoffs like 6-7 times.
This is the 7th time in the CFP. Yep.
Exactly.
7 times in 10 years.
The guy's a guru when it comes to the ACC and when it comes to the CFP in general. So he's not to be undermined and underestimated, but I still see Texas getting the victory here because they've had the greater tests this season, coming close to Georgia a couple of times, 2 times, 15-30 the first, and then the second, by what was it?
22-19 in overtime.
Exactly in overtime. So they sniffed it and they just couldn't quite grab it. So they're hungry. They're mad, right? They're gonna get it. It's a question of when. And I think Texas wins this by a margin between 7 and 14 points. I think Clemson does get thumped in the first round. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if they move to the second round.
Right.
But that's where I feel like they're stopped in their tracks. But my gut's telling me Texas victory.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. Texas victory as well. I think the 11.5 point line is pretty astronomical. I would give Texas maybe a 6 or a 7 point line, maybe even 5 or 6 as well if we're really getting to the nitty gritty about betting and involving Vegas in the decisions. But yeah, I agree with you. I just think Texas has looked better overall this year. I don't think either team has been too extremely tested. Of course, Clemson against SMU, and then they did play South Carolina, and then of course you have Texas who has played Georgia twice, but ever since they played Georgia the first time, this team has struggled with the likes of, Arkansas, Vanderbilt. They escaped from Kentucky with a 14 or a 17 point win, which I know as a Georgia fan, I can't say anything. We won by 1 in Kentucky on the road at night on a Saturday, which was a tough game. All thing. Right. against all things considered. But I think when you take a look at this game, Texas's defense, who's second in points and yards, they're first in defensive pass yards per game, and then they're 7th in takeaways per game on their defense versus Clemson's offense, who is 17th in points and 13th in yards. I think that's going to be a really big matchup here. Of course, they're playing in Austin, so that's going to be a major aspect of
this game as well. Nice, Maury. Yes, he is.
Yeah, Arch is very nice. And I hope that Arch is going to get
mind.
Literally. I hope that Arch has more snaps. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. I hope Arch has more snaps in this game than he did in Georgia, because he had 2 snaps in the last game against Georgia. One where he didn't even touch the ball because he was a decoy, and then the second one which he got stopped in the backfield.
Correct.
But yes, I agree with you, Maury. Both of us taking Texas. Arch Manning looks very nice. I don't know if Arch will play in this game, though. You have to ask the question of how far does Sarkisian possibly let Quinn Ewers go in this do-or-die game in the first round at home in the playoffs before you consider Arch, right? How is the game going? How is Quinn playing? But Quinn, who's been about half as effective in the red zone this year since his oblique injury, and then you have him playing against, Cade Klubnik as well, who's got almost 4,000 total yards,
He's
38
got an arm.
touchdowns. Yeah, surprisingly enough, Cade Klubnik is looking very, very good this year. 38 total touchdowns is not
May play
something
on
that
Sunday.
Right, that you can scoff at. Clemson, I thought, was tested kind of big time towards the end of the year. South Carolina, SMU were close games, but Texas still leaves kind of much to be desired in that competitive play because of their first and second matchup against Georgia. But they struggled, since their first matchup against Georgia, which they struggled in. They struggled in the, kind of the second game against Georgia as well, even though both of them were not very big losses. The close win against Vandy, Arkansas, Texas A&M, close win to Kentucky as well. Now, with all that being said, Clemson has won 18 of their last 19 games in December while being coached by Dabo Swinney, and then Texas is 12-1 in their last 13 home games, with the only loss, of course, being to Georgia a couple months ago in October. I'm going to take Texas to win as well by probably about, I don't know, I'd say 7 to 10 points, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was in the ballpark of 3-7. We'll have Texas moving on again. 11.5
Right.
point favorites in the first round is kind of crazy. I want to know what Vegas is thinking there.